Hey everyone, welcome to Plants and Politics. So the Trump administration was attempting to cut food stamps for almost 700,000 unemployed Americans in the midst of a pandemic. They've been working on two additional rule changes also that the Urban Institute studied, and they said if implemented, 3.7 million low-income people will lose access to the SNAP program, which is the food stamps, and an additional 982,000 low-income children will lose their free or reduced price school lunches. These people are truly monsters who don't give a damn about anyone, but except for their wealthy friends. So let's break this down. What was the first new rule and what would it have done if implemented? Why is it quintessential Republican hypocrisy? The rule would have taken away the right for individual states to waive work requirements in areas where the economy was depressed. So currently, individual states had the right to consider waiving work requirements. They could say, you know what, the economy is really bad. We understand that here in your town or this area or, this county, there are just no jobs. So you are having a harder time than somebody elsewhere in another part of the state or in another state entirely. And they could waive work requirements. They could extend the amount of time that they receive the food stamp benefits and things like that. Well, the Trump administration was trying to get rid of that and saying, no, sorry, states can't make those rules. Now, to be fair, I will be fair, the new rule that Trump was looking to enact was finalized in December of last year. And so it was pre-pandemic. And after Congress waived the work requirements across the board as part of the COVID economic relief package, Trump's administration said that they would wait, that they would not enact the rule as was planned because it was supposed to take effect in April. So they said, okay, we'll hold off on that. However, they refused to reverse course, and this pandemic is worsening. Cases are now on the rise again, so they still plan to implement this rule change at the end of the pandemic, which they claim is now. They claim we're over it. So he and his lackeys keep going out there. They're trying to spin everything and tell you, oh, don't believe your eyes and ears. Don't believe that the economy is failing. So that's on them. They want to just add insult to injury, apparently. But the hypocritical part is that I thought Republicans were all about states' rights. Aren't they the ones always arguing that states should have the rights to determine how their states are run, and that the federal government shouldn't have a say in so many state issues? Oh, no, wait, never mind. I'm confused. That's only when it comes to people of the same sex being allowed to get married, or transgender people wanting to use the bathroom with the sex in which they identify, and for when it comes to telling women what they can and can't do with their bodies. I'm sorry, guys. Silly me. I forgot. But I digress. So the rule change prompted a lawsuit. 19 different states and various private groups all got together. They filed lawsuits. And the matter was just recently reviewed by DC District Judge Beryl Howell, who issued a scathing 67-page opinion. It just rips the Trump administration to shreds. Howell stated that the new rule would leave states, quote, scrambling and exponentially increasing food insecurity for tens of thousands of Americans. He also called out the Department of Agriculture, who's in charge of this, for their failure to address how many Americans would have been hit by this. He said that the Department of Agriculture, quote, has been icily silent about how many adults would have been denied SNAP benefits had the changes sought been in effect while the pandemic rapidly spread across the country. Therefore, he concluded that their, quote, utter failure to address the issue renders the agency action arbitrary and capricious. So, yeah, he basically said, this is BS. You're going to harm people. You don't have a plan for it. You haven't even addressed it. You haven't even admitted that this is an issue. And here's how much it would cut. So the plan would have cut $5.5 billion from the food stamp program over a 5-year period. So over $1 billion per year. And it would have meant that in areas where unemployment was below 6%, states couldn't waive work requirements. So that means that if you're in an area and they have a 5.5, 5.9% unemployment rate, which is significant, that's high, your state government would just have to tell you to figure it out. You'd be on your own. Meanwhile, how much do we spend on the military? Why is it that we always have more than enough money to go around when it comes time to line the pockets of the military-industrial complex, and we have money to kill people, some our own troops, yet we never have enough money to save lives? We have enough for murder, but money to feed the working poor and underemployed or to provide health care for everybody, no. Sorry, look elsewhere, pound sand, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And let's take a look at who heads this up. Who's making these decisions? Sonny Perdue. Sonny Perdue, as of 2019, had amassed investments, just investments alone, this doesn't account for ongoing business, valued at $8 million, according to Forbes magazine. So he's the one making these decisions, and then he just puts it in front of Trump. And Trump, because he's the laziest president we've ever had in American history, and he's a moron who refuses to read anything, he just signs anything. He signs whatever they slip in front of him. He doesn't care. And this is how they justify it. They keep pointing to low unemployment rates. They keep saying, families on food stamps have grown from 17 million to 36 million since the year 2000. Did you guys forget about that 2008 Great Recession? I mean, all of these wealthy people that Trump has in his cabinet, they all amassed fortunes during the Great Recession of 2008. The rest of the country, not so much. And since that time, people have been struggling just to regain what they've lost. It's not like they've been building wealth. They're just trying to get back to center. And many Americans may be employed, but millions are underemployed, as I said, and are considered to be the working poor. They're working multiple jobs just to keep their head above water. Trump's own Labor Department stats prove those facts. This is not my opinion. They are facts. Millions are only working part-time when they want and need full-time work, but they can't find it. Other people, and I talk about this every week when I give the unemployment figures, other people have just stopped looking. They figure, there's nothing out there. And those people aren't even factored into the unemployment figures. They're considered to be out of the workforce. And if you even work 1 hour a week in this country, you're considered to be employed. So these cruel and inhumane decisions that they're making are completely illogical. They are not based in facts. And it just goes to show you that they have such a callous disregard for average Americans. Even though Trump ran as the populist president and he's going to help out the silent majority and the people who have been ignored, the forgotten man and woman. Oh, please. While he's giving tons of money to the military, bigger budget than ever, while he's giving tax breaks to the wealthy. You've got people like Jeff Bezos and other billionaires who don't pay a dime now in federal taxes because of Trump's tax scam that he enacted in 2017. But we're going to cut food stamps for the poor in this country. Are you freaking kidding me? How about you make the billionaires pay what they owe? And then we can take care of the people who are trying, who are working themselves to the bone, and they still can't make it because wages have not kept up with the expenses in this country. Because trickle-down economics is a bunch of bullshit, and the people at the top are selfish bastards who don't want to share, and they refuse to pay their labor what they're worth. How about that? Fix all that shit. God, it is so vile. It really is. So anyway, guys, this is on hold, but this judge has now struck it down and said, nope, can't do it. So we'll see. If it goes like everything else with Trump, it's just going to go round and round in the court system, which is fine. Let's just keep it tied up. At least they can't implement the change while it's tied up in court. So at least that's a good thing. And then hopefully he'll be out and we can strike down entirely all of this kind of horrific legislation that serves no purpose other than to keep slicing and slashing taxes for the wealthy. So as always, like, share, subscribe. Thank you for listening and watching, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Thanks for listening to Plants and Politics. The only way we can take our country and power back is to spread the truth and build an army. So remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share on Facebook, YouTube, and wherever you listen to your podcasts. Thanks again.